Happy Friday, boys and girls. We are here for our final lesson of the week for reading. And today we are going to continue talking about story elements. So when we were together yesterday, we got to talk about the setting and the talking characters in the book Owen. Today we're going to talk about the problem, the attempts to resolve that problem, and then finally the solution. So I want to remind you, a problem is what goes wrong in the story. So we want to think about what's wrong that is happening in the story Owen, and what's Owen doing trying to fix that problem. And then finally, what is the solution? The solution is, how do the characters fix the problem? So at the end, there's a big solution in this book Owen. So we're going to watch the video one last time and listen to the story, and then we're going to talk about the problem, the attempts to resolve, and finally the solution. Let's dig in. Sorry, that was our wrong one. Let's get the correct one. What is happening here? Sorry, friends, I just about got it. Thanks for being patient with me while I get our video. This should be the right one. Here we go.
And now, Owen. Written and illustrated by Kevin Henkes. Owen had a fuzzy yellow blanket. He'd had it since he was a baby. He loved it with all his heart. "Fuzzy goes where I go," said Owen, and Fuzzy did. Upstairs, downstairs, in between, inside, outside, upside down. "Fuzzy likes what I like," said Owen, and Fuzzy did. Orange juice, grape juice, chocolate milk, ice cream, peanut butter, applesauce cake. "Isn't he getting a little old to be carrying that thing around?" asked Mrs. Tweezers. "Haven't you heard of the blanket fairy?" Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. That night, Owen's parents told Owen to put Fuzzy under his pillow. In the morning, Fuzzy would be gone, but the blanket fairy would leave an absolutely wonderful, positively perfect, especially terrific, big boy gift in its place. Positively perfect, especially terrific, big boy gift in its place. Owen stuffed Fuzzy inside his pajama pants and went to sleep. "No blanket fairy," said Owen in the morning. "No kidding," said Owen's mother. "No wonder," said Owen's father. "Fuzzy's dirty," said Owen's mother. "Fuzzy's torn and ratty," said Owen's father. "No," said Owen. "Fuzzy is perfect." And Fuzzy was. Fuzzy played Captain Plunger with Owen. Fuzzy helped Owen become invisible. "Bet you can't see me." And Fuzzy was essential when it came to nail clippings and haircuts and trips to the dentist. "Can't be a baby forever," said Mrs. Tweezers. "Haven't you heard of the vinegar trick?" Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. When Owen wasn't looking, his father dipped Owen's favorite corner of Fuzzy into a jar of vinegar. Owen sniffed it, and smelled it, and sniffed it. He picked a new favorite corner. Then he rubbed the smelly corner all around his sandbox, buried it in the garden, and dug it up again. "Good as new," said Owen. Fuzzy wasn't very fuzzy anymore, but Owen didn't mind. He carried it, and wore it, and dragged it. He sucked it, he hugged it, he twisted it. "What are we going to do?" asked Owen's mother. School is starting soon, said Owen's father. Can't bring a blanket to school, said Mrs. Tweezers. Haven't you heard of saying no? Owen's parents hadn't. Mrs. Tweezers filled them in. I have to bring Fuzzy to school, said Owen. No, said Owen's mother. No, said Owen's father. Owen buried his face in Fuzzy. He started to cry and would not stop. Don't worry, said Owen's mother. It'll be all right, said Owen's father. And then suddenly Owen's mother said, I have an idea. It was an absolutely wonderful, positively perfect, especially terrific idea. First she snipped, and then she sewed. Then she snipped again and sewed some more. Snip, snip, snip. Sew, sew, sew. Dry your eyes. Wipe your nose. Hooray, hooray, hooray. And now Owen carries one of his not-so-fuzzy handkerchiefs with him wherever he goes. And Mrs. Tweezers doesn't say a thing.
All right, my friends. So let's go back and think about what we noticed in that story and what was the big problem. That's the next thing that's on here. O is, oops, there's a problem. What is the problem that Owen's dealing with? Go ahead and think about that and then tell me out loud. I agree, my friends. What I'm hearing is that Owen really, really wants to keep his blanket, but his mom and his dad think it's time to give up his blanket. So yeah, I have that written down for us to add. It says, Owen's family wants to get rid of Fuzzy. That's the first part of the problem. The second part, though, is that Owen wants to keep Fuzzy, and that's a problem because they want different things. The family wants Fuzzy gone, and Owen wants to keep him. So I want to think back to the story and think, what did Owen do to try to resolve the story? R is resolve. So what did he do to try to solve this problem? First, they said the blanket fairy was coming. So what did Owen do? Think and go ahead and shout it out. If you were thinking that Owen tried to hide his blanket, you're right. He hid Fuzzy in his pajamas. So I'm going to put that for the first thing. So then his family tries something new, and Dad decides to dip the blanket into the vinegar, the corner that Owen really, really loves. What does Owen do to resolve that? Go ahead and shout it out. If you said that he rubbed Fuzzy in the sandbox, you're right. He tried to rub the corner and bury it in the sand and try to get that smell away and gross vinegar. And so last the family decided they were just going to tell him no. And they said, Owen, you can't take blanket to school. And Owen did what? Yeah. Owen cried and cried and cried. And he tried to cry thinking maybe they would change their minds. So Owen cried and cried. Now, at the end, something finally happens and we have a solution. A solution is how we fix this problem. So the problem is that the family doesn't think Owen should have his big blanket anymore, and Owen wants to keep it. What does Mom do to help solve this that makes them happy at the end? If you remember that she cut the blanket up into handkerchiefs so there were small pieces and Owen could put it in his back pocket. I saw that in the picture. Yeah, Mom makes Fuzzy into handkerchiefs. So I'm going to put that as our solution. Great job, my friends. I'm so proud of the way that you've been working really hard with this book. I'm also really impressed that you keep staying engaged with it day after day after day. We read this book 5 times, and it's really important that we reread our stories because there's always something new that we can notice and something new we can learn from it. And we got to do a whole bunch of things this week. We talked about characterization, we talked about sequencing of events, we talked about cause and effect, and we got to talk about the story elements. So I'm really proud of you for sticking through this all week. So today when you go onto Google Classroom, you are going to continue to thinking about your comprehension. And comprehension is how well we understand what we read. So we have to read and be thinking about the book. And that's what we did all week. We were thinking about the book. So today on Google Classroom, you're going to have some questions to answer about the book, okay? So there is a box to type your answer. If that's really, really tricky, here's a second option. You can have a grown-up read you the questions, and they can record on their phone you answering the questions. So you guys can just talk back and forth about it and have the grown-up send it to me when you're finished, okay? So those are two choices. You can answer them online and type your answers, or you can ask a grown-up to help you record it, okay? So your target is, I can answer questions about the text Owen, and that's what's on your Google Classroom when you log in. So thanks for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic, wonderful weekend, and I will see you again on Monday. Goodbye, friends. Take care.